king thy judgments, O Yahuwah, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. He shall judge thy people with righteousness, and thy poor with judgment. The mountain shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. They shall fear thee as long as the sun and moon endure throughout all generations. He shall come down like the rain upon the mown grass, as showers that water the earth. In his days shall the righteous flourish, and the abundance of peace, so long as the moon endureth. He shall have dominion from sea to sea, and from the river unto the ends of the earth. They that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall kick the dust. The kings of Tarshish and of the isles shall bring presents, and the kings of Sheba shall offer gifts. And yea, all the kings shall fall down before him, and all the nations shall serve him. For he shall deliver the needy when he crieth, for the poor also, and him that hath no helper. He shall spare the poor and needy. He shall save the souls of the needy. He shall redeem their souls from the deceit and the violence, and precious shall their blood be in his sight. He shall live, and to him shall be given the gold of Sheba. Prayer also shall be made for him continually, and daily shall he be praised. And there shall be an handful of corn in the earth upon the top of the mountains, for the fruit thereof shall shake like Lebanon, and they of the city shall flourish like grass of the earth. His name shall endure forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun, and men shall be blessed in him, and all nations shall call him blessed. Blessed be the I am, yes, the God of Israel, who only doeth wondrous things. And blessed be his glorious name forever, and let the whole earth be filled with his glory. Amen and amen. The prayers of David, the son of Jesse, are ended. Yes, deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we continue and go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, that was Psalms chapter 72, and then the prayer of Abram. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes. We thank God for you and you. We thank God for his mercy. We thank the Most High for his should I say, what should I call it? I should call his mercy and his favor. I really don't like the word grace, but either way, it's a word. We thank him for his favor toward us, because without his mercy, we cannot obtain favor. Without our confidence in him, we cannot obtain favor in him. But we first have to have mercy, and that our hearts may be cleansed from the sin that lurks within it. For if I hide sin in my heart, as the psalmist, even David, the king, says, God will not hear me, and he should be one that should know that God will not hear him. And also we thank God, we praise God, we give God the glory for all that he's done. Yes, even on this beautiful 6th day of the week, we thank God for his mercy. Or should I say 5th day of the week? This is the 5th day of the week. Yes, the 5th day of the week. Yes, it is. And we thank the Most High for his mercy and how he has dealt with the children of men, even the children of Jacob. Yes. And also we thank God for those of you that have been with us since the beginning, and those of you that have subscribed, and those of you that are about to subscribe, and those of you who have been with us day here and there's about. We thank the Most High for you, and we call those things that are not as though they are. Yes, you're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay, and we're in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 18. 1 Kings chapter 18. Now we're in where the northern kingdom, which was at first was led by Jeroboam. The northern kingdom Now it has went through many other kings that have reigned in it in Jeroboam's stead, even his son. Now comes a very wicked king, Ahab, and his wife Jezebel. Many of you know who that is. Yes, Ahab was a Baal worshiper. His wife was a Baal worshiper, the father of a Baal worshiper. They did after the manner of their father Solomon. In other words, you choose a woman and you lose your standard. You choose a woman and you lose your relationship with God. You choose a wife and you lose everything you ever had before the Most High and with the Most High, causing others to be poisoned just like you are. Even with Ahab's situation, a whole nation. Yes. And now God sends a man that he is really somewhat like Moses in a way. His relationship with God is very intimate. Not in the sensual way. Intimate in that him and God are very close. Yes. And verse 18, in chapter 18, 1 Kings chapter 18, it reads, "And it came to pass after many days that the word of the I Am came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, Go show thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth." In other words, you're going to have to go show yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. This was a conjunction. So you're going to have to do it. And Elijah went and showed himself unto Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. Now we understand from the previous chapters how Samaria came about. Samaria was Samaria at first until one of the kings bought the city and named it Samaria after the land. And Ahab called Obadiah. Would this be the same as the book of Obadiah? We will find out. Which was the governor of his house. Now Obadiah feared the I Am greatly. Now that's something when you know who the I Am is. See, Obadiah probably is an old man, or he's been told how the smoke of the temple filled the temple after Solomon had done and dedicated it in all kind of things, and his heart was right with God, and God appeared in the temple, not unto man, but to man it was a smoke. But if you were in that temple, woof, no one can touch you or look upon you, just as Moses, lest they die. This is how close this was. Now, Elijah was that which was close unto the Most High. Nobody knows of the visions and the dreams that he's seen and how many angels have came in contact with him. Even God took an unclean thing, not that we should eat unclean things, because the commandments forbids us, and that we have made a choice not to do those things. And also, we also have now Obadiah. And Ahab said to Obadiah, "Go into the land, unto all fountains of water, and unto all brooks, perhaps, or peradventure, we may find grass to save the horses and mules alive, that we lose not all the beasts." In other words, these beasts are food. They carry our items. They are beasts of burden. Yes. So they divided the land between them and passed throughout it, and Ahab went one way by himself, and Obadiah went another way by himself. And Obadiah was one of them undercover Israelites. Undercover. Ahab was an Israelite, but Ahab was an undercover Israelite. You can say the throne of David was severed from Israel, but yet the throne of David is in Judah and Benjamin. David was not over all Israel. This house was not over all Israel. Think about it. You think about this New Testament and you think about Israel. A good point was made. God is not God. The only God the world knew at that time was the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, even in America, one God. That's all they knew. So really, this Isis, did they go into all the world and preach this Isis? Or was it a great deception to all the world at the same time? You have to be the judge by how you study. Now, on all the fountains of water, and they divided the land between and passed through out. Ahab went one way and Obadiah went another way by himself. And as Obadiah was in the way, Elijah met him. Oh yeah, they were afraid of, they didn't know. Elijah was a man that obeyed God. This is why God talked to him and gave him those things that were on his heart concerning Israel. Elijah was a prophet to Israel at this time, as we can see. Now, he knew him and fell on his face and said, because he knew this was a man that was a friend that was close to God. A man close to God. You know, being a prophet is a lonely life. Some have married and some have not. It's a lonely life. You spend a life, as far as the flesh, you're alone. As far as the spirit, you have myriads of angels and spirits of the Most High with you, not only fighting, but also ministering to you, talking to your mind, talking to your heart, consoling you, comforting you, giving you instruction. These things are coming from the Most High, yes. Being brought to you by his messengers, whom the English call angels. They're really spirits of God. There's no such thing as sons of God. There are no sons of God, to tell you the truth. This is the auspices of men, according to your translations. There are no sons. He's the father of spirits. He's the creator of spirits, however you want to put it. The spirits he created. He had no wife that he copulated with to have these spirits, for he said, be, and it is. Even those who worship him in the lands that call themselves Muslims says yes. God says be. And that's it. No, I'm not in depth of that religion, but I understand it's no different to me than Catholicism or Christianity. But God calls all his people to come understand him as king and creator. Most powerful, even the Holy One of Israel. Not the Israel that you know, that they bamboozled you and told you that hate your guts, but the fact is the Israel that God had from the children of Jacob, that seed line. I don't never say bloodline. I've said it before, but it's the seed line. Only thing about the blood or the DNA is to establish who is your father. It doesn't tell you who your mother is. Some of it you can't even tell your mother. But who's your father? Nevertheless, he said, and as Obadiah in verse 7 was in the way, behold, Elijah met him and he knew him. He fell on his face and said, thou art that Elijah. As far as my Lord, that to me that's an insert. And he answered him and said, I am. Go, tell thy king, behold, Elijah is here. Who is the king? Ahab. And he said, what have I sinned, that thou wouldest deliver thy servant into the hand of Ahab to slay me? Oh, don't do this to me. And as the I am thy God liveth, there is no nation or kingdom whereby my prophet my God have not sent thee to seek thee. And when they said he is not here, he took an oath of the kingdom and nation, and they found thee not. In other words, God done took you from everywhere, man. He said, now thou sayest, go tell my king, behold, Elijah is here, and it shall come to pass as soon wherever I sin. And he says, now it shall come to pass as soon as I am gone, in verse 12, that the spirit of the I am shall carry thee whither I know not. Whether it be the I am itself, No, it's angels. Angels, you have those 4 and 20 elders. They are messengers of, as well as spirits of the Most High, they are messengers of the Most High also. Many of the names of them we do not know. We know some of them that they say they are, which is Gabriel, Michael, and other angels that have, and some have no names. And these angels are captains of tens and thousands and tens of thousands and myriads of angels before the Most High. And it shall come to pass, as he says now, was it not told my prophet what I did with Jezebel, when Jezebel slew the prophets of the I Am, how I hid 100 men of the I Am's prophets by 50 in a cave. Now these prophets were as angels, as the angels you see that spoke to all the people preceding Elijah. These prophets were angels. The angels spoke to the prophets, and the prophets speak to men. Let's put it this way. Some have mistaken the angels or the spirits of God to be God because of the glory that was upon them. Or maybe the vision that God had touched their minds and caused them to see. They saw glorious images. We have to call a buck a buck. Really think. You have to be a free thinker. Think in what these people are saying. And now sayest thou, go tell thy king, behold, Elijah is here, and he shall slay me. Got to get out of that old English. And Elijah said, as the I Am of hosts liveth, before whom I stand, I will surely show myself unto him today. So Obadiah went to meet Ahab and told him, and Ahab went and met Elijah, or Elijah. And it came to pass that when Ahab saw Elijah, you say Jah, the J wasn't there at that time, so it might have been a Y, we don't know what it was. That Ahab said unto him, thou art he that troubleth Israel. Was it Elijah that troubled Israel, or was it Tata Nzambi, Sanini Nanini, Yahweh, Yahuwah, Daheya, Ya Allah? Was it him that used Elijah to speak a word where he moved in his power to trouble Israel? It was the Most High that said Israel will suffer famine. Yes, it was. Yes, they were troubled by God, if that's what you want to hear. And it came, and he answered and said, I have not troubled Israel, but thou. In other words, because of your sin. The same thing with Israel. Because of your sin, Jacob, children of Jacob. You suffer here in the U.S. You suffer in Africa. You suffer in Australia. You suffer all over the earth, and they hate you because of your sin. Far as me, there is no New Testament. You might as well just niche it out. God has his promise of some things that he wants to do, but we'll get to that later. Chapter by chapter. Just walk with me. And then he said up there, he answered and says, I have not troubled Israel, but thou and thy father's house. In that you or ye have forsaken the commandments of the I Am, that thou hast followed Balaam. No, the commandments haven't left yet. Still prevalent today. But you've been bamboozled, Jacob. They've said they have a New Testament. This book full of lies. Now therefore send and gather me all of Israel unto the Mount Carmel. Oh yes. And the prophets of Baal, 450, and the prophets of the groves of 400, which eat Jezebel's table. So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel and gathered prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long shall halt ye between two opinions? In other words, how long are we going to begin to accept this Isis and then accept that the commandments are done away with and that we get into a sensual agreement with God? We can do what we want, but we still forgiven. We don't have to do those things contained that our ancestors had said all that the Most High said that we will do. We don't have to do that no more because he shedded his blood. God is sadistic because he took the blood of the man over blood of animals, and you're not supposed to murder a man. He that sheddeth man blood by man shall his blood be shed. How is that a sacrifice? He didn't say he who shatters animals' blood, by animals shall he be, his blood shall be. No, he didn't say that. So if man shedded the blood of your Isis, then all the men that shedded his blood, their blood should have been shed. And if it was a sacrifice to God, it's an abomination. Isn't this the same way of that God they call Molech? Human sacrifice. That's demonic. Your New Testament is demonic. God doesn't, they made it sound so pious. He even deceived me. It says it shall even, didn't it say in that own testament that it shall even deceive the very elect? Those of you on the continent of Africa, you were doing these things according to as you understood, sacrificing animals and God using you in different and marvelous ways. And then here comes this great deception called your Jesus. You even use him as a byword and a cuss word and everything else all over the world. He don't care. Because he knows this entity that have caused this whole thing is very powerful. It even deceived many of the very elect. Told on itself, didn't he? Yes. The demons told on itself. The fallen angels, the fallen spirits told on their self. Now, we have to fight the mental battle in our mind to accept and shun that New Testament and accept what God has said in the previous thousands of years that he have dealt with the people of Jacob. And he said, oh, you sound foreign to me. Yeah, I sound foreign to you because that's the way you grew up. That's the way your mama cried. That's the way your daddy went around shouting, skanking his boots or whatever, that effeminate piano player and choir singer. They get to showing, oh, sister so-and-so, and then you got your lustful, should I say, hierarchy in your church or whatever, religion or your mosque or whatever, your masjid, that goes after the sisters. Always putting up the sisters. There's no way a man can be friends with a woman and there is no desire for her. Watch it. Now, then said Elijah unto the people, I will even only remain a prophet of the I am. But Baal's prophets are 450. Then let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves. See, all this had to be done because the people were halted between an idol and the one true God. This was a foolish thing. It's kind of crazy. And we do the same thing. We're halted between putting a man, something out of the New Testament, Mary and different saints and all these other things, and all kind of things at your crosses and all things that unimaginable that you would think are so innocent before the Most High. Thou shalt have no other God. This has been the primary sin of the children of Jacob. And let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces and lay it on the wood. According to the book of Jasher, the pieces that, and put no fire under it. And I will dress the other bullock and lay it on the wood and put no fire under. And call ye on the name of your pagan gods. And I will call on the name of the I am, and the God that answers by fire, let him be God. Now, this is the part where I should make you feel good and make you, whoa, okay, that's enough. But either way, and all the people answered and said, it is well spoken. We shall see in the day that this resurrection is supposed to happen, who's going to come? Would it be your Jesus or would it be the Most High? So you all decide to change the narrative. You do it back and forth in the book of Revelation. First he's Jesus. Then next thing you know, he turns to God. All throughout the New Testament, he's between Jesus and God. What is it going to be? And the lie that he told in the Gospels, or they told in the Gospels, that this guy was a son of God. God has no son. He's a creator of spirits. Greeks named that thing. Even throughout the New Testament, they put that stuff there. They're setting your butt up from the beginning. But either way, now he comes down. God be God? Does God be God? Now here you got this dilemma. Do I worship the Most High God, which the book of Enoch says he cometh with 10,000 of his anointed, or do I go with the Revelation? He comes with 10,000 of his saints. Which one is right? That's supposed to be past. God is no more. We have the Jesus now. Come on here. What we got here? Oh, we're going to call a buck here. And call you on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of the I am, and the God that answered by fire, let him be God. Verse 25. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose you one bullock for yourselves, and dress it first, for ye are many, and call on the name of your gods, but put no fire under it. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and they called on the name of their Baal from the morning even until noon. Oh, they said their Baal, they told Baal to hear them, but there was no voice, nor any that answered, and they leaped upon the offering which was made in order to offer themselves. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked at them and said, cry loud. Maybe he's a god. Either he's taking he's talking. He don't want you bothering him. He's talking to somebody else. In your Greek mythology, he's talking to the other Greek gods or your other African gods or whatever you want to call them pagan gods, not the God of Jacob. Or he's pursuing. He's out on a journey. Maybe he's chasing his wife or his old lady whom he's trying to get this immaculate baby by. Who knows? Or he's in a journey, or perhaps he's sleeping. He's tired, man. He's tired of y'all. Y'all been bogging him all the time with all this mumbling and this jumbling of words and chanting and all this stuff and incense all over the place, and must be awakened. Yeah, maybe. And they cried aloud and cut themselves after the manner of knives and lances till the blood gushed out of them. They were ready to sacrifice themselves, just like they said of your Isis, the hideous, nasty, elusive thing of made human sacrifice. No such thing. And it came to pass, and then it was sacrificed by those who were not. Oh gosh, I was really blind. Sacrificed by those who were not Levitical priests. Sacrificed to those who did not wash according to the law. But oh, that's your Lord, that's your God, that's your Jesus, your Yahushua, your Yahusha. I can't say Muhammad because Muhammad, he never claimed nothing like that. No, I'm not in that area. I've read the Quran, but I am not, that's not me. And it came to pass, when midday was past, they prophesied until the time of the offering of the even sacrifice, and there was neither voice, nor answer, nor any that regarded. And Elijah said unto all the people, come near unto me. And all the people came near unto him, and he repaired the altar of the I am that was broken down. And Elijah took 12 stones according to the number of the tribe of the sons of Jacob, whom this is because for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's sake, not just for Jacob, he knew what Israel was going to do. Unto whom the word of the I am came. If you go back into the book of Joshua, he's going to tell you why he favors the children of Jacob. In the name, and he made a trench about the altar as great as would contain 2 measures of seed. And he put wood on the altar. Now this wood could have been, I know the book of Joshua said he had to use pine, period. Oh, did pine trees grow over there? That place was luscious and jungles and everything else. There was really no desert. There was some barren land, but there was no desert. No. Until a certain time, and that time I do not know, and I'm not going to speculate. And they did it in the second time and said, do it a third time, and they did it a third time. And the water ran about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Sanini nanini tata zambi Yahweh Yahuwah Hey Ya Allah, God of Ibrahim or Abram, Isaac, and of Yasharal or Israel, let it be known this day that thou art God in Yasharal or Israel, that I am thy servant. In other words, hear me, and that I have done all these things at thy word. I am being obedient unto you. See, this is where you can pray. We say, I'm being obedient to you when I keep your dietary laws. I'm being obedient unto you when I begin not to desire anything that is of my neighbors, even to the point where I do not bear false witness or lie or anything that is according to the commandments of love thy neighbor thyself. And that I love you above all things. Nothing in putting anyone before you. Hear me. See, when you have done that which is righteous before God, you can holler that, hear me. I followed that which you required of me. Now I need you. More so today. He said, I have done all these things at thy word. I have been obedient. Hear me, O Yahuwah. Hear me, that this people may know that thou art the I am, and that thou hast turned their heart back again. These old stiff-necked, foolish, crazy people who's double-minded in all their ways, hear me. Then the fire of the I am failed because he told the truth, and consumed the burnt sacrifices, and the wood and stones and the dust that licked up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, the I am, he is God, the God. The I am, he is God. He is the power. He is the creator. He's the one that holds all time and space, that can say be, and it is. And Elijah said to them, take the prophets of Baal, and let not one of them escape. And they took them, and Elijah brought them down to the brook of Kishon, and slew them there. Oh, he killed them, he murdered them, take them to jail, send them up there for life. No, this is God's country. If God commanded a man of God to do such a thing, ain't nothing none of these nations of the earth can do about it, because God is going to protect them, and that he obeyed God's voice. Until as a time God should say, well, it's time for you to glorify me. Because the glorified of the anointed, death is the glory of an anointed of God, because God will be sanctified in that anointed one. Yes. But he's cursed in Jesus. You curse Jesus, you mock at Jesus, you call him everything. I mean, man, what a crazy deal that is. And Elijah said unto Ahab, get thee up and eat, drink, for there is a sound of abundance of rain. In other words, man, we about to get it. God is going to do it. Got this sin out the land. These doggone take their nasty flesh and buried it somewhere. So Ahab went up and ate to drink, and Elijah went up to the top of Carmel. He cast himself down upon the earth and put his face between his knees. This is crazy. See, the colonizer came and said, oh, he's a witcher. He did one of these numbers. Oh, he's in witchcraft. You see, Africa, you don't understand. Your history has been, your elders have been deleted. Your teenagers and young ones was the ones that were re-educated. Now they told you that you had these gods and that God, and now these teenagers, and they are elders now, and that's what they think. Some of them, they've been taught better and they learned better, or they found books to teach them better. But many of you were worshiping the Most High, the same one Elijah was worshiping. Yes, many of you were. From Northeast Africa all the way down to South Africa. Yes, it was done. Across, wherever you were scattered, wherever you ran, you were worshiping the Most High. Now, some of you did bring things upon yourself, many of you, because you mixed those things of the Most High with the things of these fallen spirits. These spirits were meant to tear man away from God, that Israel might cleave unto him. This is what happened. And it came to pass in the meanwhile that the heaven was black with clouds and wind, and there was a great rain. Now let's go ahead. He said he said to his servant, go up now, look toward the sea, and went up. And he looked and said, there is nothing. This is where your patience with God has to work. See, God has patience with you because he knows you. That many of us at our best, we're wicked. And there is nothing. He said, go again 7 times. And it came to pass at the 9th time, he said, behold, there arises a little cloud out of the sea like a man's hand. And he said, go up. Say unto Ahab, prepare thy chariot and get thee down, that the rain stop thee not. Oh, did he did a Indian rain dance? You. Did he do one of those, or one of them African rain dances? Did he, or pagan rain dances? No. He just put his head between his knees, waiting on God until God showed out and showed up. Showed up, whatever you want to call it. But either way, it came to pass in the meanwhile that the heaven was black with clouds and the wind, and there was great rain, and Ahab rode and went to Jezreel. And the hand of the I Am was on Elijah. This anointing. That anointing, he strengthened Elijah, just like he did in the book of Joshua with the children of Jacob. He strengthened them to fight thousands of men, just like he did Samson. Strengthened him just to slay so many men with the jawbone of an ass. So what did he do? Ahab ran so fast he wasn't even out of breath. And he met him. He ran before Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel. No, he didn't, should I say, dematerialize and materialize, but he ran. I mean, God knows how to just keep that balance, don't he? Oh, praises to the Most High. And when we obey God and do those things and put him first, getting rid of all our idols or what we think is idols, to God's glory, we will have peace.
Walk with me.